Ladies and gentlemen and persons, welcome to the Art Theater and the Wooster Players collection of Night Watch. It is New York City on a brisk fall evening. Elaine Waiters cannot sleep. As she faces her Manhattan apartment, she sees something terrifying the next building over. She is in shock. Her husband is concerned. Police are called. Could Elaine actually see something? Is there danger stalking Manhattan? Is she right to be afraid? Or perhaps, is Elaine the problem? This evening, your fearless Wooster players will attempt to unravel these mysteries. Who will solve this puzzle? The psychiatrist? Elaine's best friend? Her loyal husband? Only time will tell. Before we begin, please allow me to remind you of our Art Theater rules. Silence your phones now. Do not text. Do not take photographs or recordings of the play. Water is the only beverage allowed inside the theater. Enjoy your snacks outside of the theater. Please remove any crying babies or boyfriends or teachers, etc., so we can all enjoy the production. So sit back, relax, enjoy yourselves as the Wooster players attempt to solve this Manhattan mystery. The moment of magic has arrived. It is time to enter the world of Night Watch.
You know what time it is?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I wake you, dear?
What do you think? It's 5 o'clock. I wonder where the hell you were. You smoked a pack? Another one? What's happening to you, Ellie?
Me? Nothing. I couldn't sleep.
Come on. It's been 3 nights in a row. Cigarette butts all over the place. Crossword puzzles?
It's just my old insomnia. Daddy had it. Granddaddy suffered from it. We're night owls. Moon people.
Ellie, I've heard all that before. What's the problem? Me?
Of course not, darling.
I couldn't make it home any earlier for dinner.
I understood that, dear.
It isn't Blanche, is it?
Blanche?
Well, she's beginning to get on my nerves.
She's been nothing but a darling. I've loved having her.
Then what is it? Insomnia isn't inherited. You always have a reason. Is it Carl? That bastard?
Carl?
Blanche said you've been talking about him.
That's nonsense. She brought him up. I didn't. Look, you're a day person, and I'm a night person. When you go to bed, you fall asleep. Like that. But sometimes the very minute my head touches the pillow, right away, the candles light up, the music begins, and I'm a going Carolyn, standing at the entrance of a gorgeous ballroom. But I can't go to a ball, obviously.
Okay. Something's got to be done about you, Ellie.
What? Just wander me off to Switzerland?
Well, why not try it? Nothing else seems to work. It could be a vacation. What's so fun?
You need a vacation, darling. Please stop crawling around. I'm perfectly all right.
Then what is it?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Don't so much of it really, dear. I'll end up thinking I'm some sort of freak.
Oh, the hell with it, Ellie.
John, darling, you're tired. I'm tired, but if there's something you want to talk about, anything special, then let's just stay down here for a little while together. I'll make some coffee like the old days, and I won't smoke. It might help both of us.
I'm sorry, but it's late and I'm hungry if you don't mind. That was a pretty lousy dinner Hugo cooked up tonight.
I thought you were dieting.
Care for anything? A glass of milk, maybe?
Nothing.
Well, I'm starved.
John, hold me, please.
Ellie. The hell's the matter with you? You're like ice. You're shaking. Here, put this over you. Who the hell's been fooling with this thermostat? Sergeant.
What's he saying?
Hey, Ellie, relax. He's getting in homicide. Hello? Hello! Oh, sorry. My name is Wheeler, Lieutenant. 316 East 30th Street, Manhattan. I'm calling to report what may have been a murder. At least my wife says she saw this dead man in a tenement window in a abandoned tenement facing the end of her house. He was sitting in a chair.
A green wing chair.
A green wing chair, bleeding from the mouth. Middle-aged man. What? No, the shade's down. Yeah. No, my wife said the shade was up and then it went down. Come on, Lieutenant. That's what my wife says, and she's very, very sure. Wheeler, Wheeler, 316 East 30th Street. Yes, I put it on 29th Street, middle of the block. Right. I'm on Wall Street. Securities. Securities. What? Yes, right. Got it. Okay, well, thanks a lot. Sons of bitches.
Is he sending somebody?
Yes, but you think we committed the crime? Some cops come here to talk to us.
Here? But it happened over there.
Allie, I don't run the police department. They'd send somebody here, they'd send somebody there. Hell, I better put some pants on. Just take it easy, huh?
Madame, a dead man? What's an animal?
Oh, well, you heard it? Yes, isn't it horrible?
That's a real disgrace, that building.
You didn't happen to see him?
Me? Oh, I was sleeping like a baby till a couple of minutes ago. I just got up to look at the clock.
Do you know anything about that place at all? Have you ever seen anybody in it or that shade up?
No, madame. Not since I started working for you. I never saw nothing in that dirty old wreck. Then I got my work to do.
What does it look like from the front?
You never seen it from the front, madame? My, it's an old junkie with a broken stone around the corner. It's the middle of the block. Yet, next to a school. On the other side is a delicatessen with a bed of potato salad at the lemon.
Potato salad?
Yeah, I would go in that store again if they shoot me. It's got stale mayonnaise. It upsets my digestion. And I ought to rob that place a couple of times already.
Robbed it? Oh, we're the police.
Oh, it's a bad street altogether. That's 29th Street with lots of saloons and plenty filthy foreigners living there. And they got garbage cans and furniture stuck out on the sidewalks. Oh, it's a wicked city, madame. It's like war. It's worse than war. With people robbing you and stabbing you for no reason. But they just don't let you loose. Oh, do you like I bring you your morning chocolate or some coffee? Anything that I am dressed?
I'd like some coffee. And the Danish too, if you don't mind. That sandwich I was making.
Oh, so it was you and my big dick.
Ellie!
I'm sorry, but she works hard. I'll speak to her. Here they are. Will you? Shut up.
No, let her go for God's sake.
It's the theater!
I swear, she's got the manners of a stormtrooper. Good morning, officer. My name is John Wheeler. Yes, we are. My wife is here.
Nice place you got here. You people new in the neighborhood?
We moved in last October. This is Mrs. Wheeler.
Miss Wheeler, I'm Vanelli. Patrolman Vanelli. Say, is that a real Picasso man?
Yes, it is. And this is the window where I saw him. The dead man, that second floor window, that shade went up for a minute. Is somebody being sent there?
Sure, lady. Lieutenant's taking care of it now. Nowadays, you can't rush into any vacant building unless you're looking to get killed. It takes time, man.
You can see how close we are.
Yeah, you sure can, I'll say. In fact, consider you've got that wall there on that right, and that left-hand house just not so far. It looks
chair.
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't know there was any furniture left in the old oak.
That's strange.
You see, ma'am, around 6 months ago they had a fire, which practically gutted it. And then the neighborhood kids got installed whatever they could lay their hands on.
Well, I know I saw a big green wing chair. It's sort of like that one. And the man was slouched down into it, like this.
Ha! Say, that's pretty lifelike.
With blood trickling down his face. What else can I tell you? Who owns that building?
God knows, lady. I don't. But it's probably one of those big real estate combines. They buy up a lot of stuff, we call it speculation. Okay, we'll see what the story is. Excuse me. Is that a real Modigliani?
Yes, it is. You seem to know a great deal about paintings?
Before I came on the force, I used to be a guard in the Brooklyn Art Museum. I also took a night course on the subject, which is more than you can say for most guards, right?
Right. You will keep us posted?
Lady, just trust us. I hope you got insurance on the stuff.
Yes, we do. My husband also keeps a gun handy.
Elaine! I have a license for it.
Thank you, officer.
Likewise. It's a pleasure. Like a museum.
Did you have to tell him about that revolver?
What's wrong with owning one? Particularly now. Why aren't they over there yet? What's taking all this time?
Oh, they know what they're doing. You look tired, worn out. Why don't you go upstairs and lie down for a while?
Lie down? When all the excitement is starting?
You weren't planning to stay here and run the whole show. Seriously, Elaine, I've never seen you look so exhausted. 3 nights without sleep are raising hell with you, honey.
But I can't help not sleeping. It's not my fault.
This was all we had in the house, Mr. Miller. There was no daily sheets.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I boxed for you your morning chocolate with that. The cops are there already. Good. That's good.
Perhaps they are, but I can't see anything. What do you suppose they're doing over there?
Who knows? Where's Mrs. Cook?
I haven't seen her, heard one sheet out of her.
We'll give her a call.
No. Don't wake her up, Helga. Let the poor child sleep. She's having lunch today with Larry, her last day, and she's breaking it off, and I'm sure she'll need all the rest she can get. Still no lights? But look at all those people running. Oh, there's that strange-looking man who lives next door. He just came into our yard.
What's the matter with his own yard?
You probably can see what that wall is away. There's a light. And another! 2 policemen? 3? They're getting in!
Take it easy.
Come on! Doesn't it look eerie? Look at that ground floor. Those broken beams, those naked iron
It
staircases.
must have been one hell of a fire.
They're going up those stairs, those lights. Ghostly. They're coming toward that room.
Ah, I don't like dead people.
All right, come over here. Elaine,
But why? I've seen him. I'm not scared.
come on. Don't try to be so damn courageous. It could throw you into a tailspin. You know what it could do. I'm getting blanched out.
Oh, don't be silly. I'm just fine. I wasn't going to do anything. I just wanted to know what happened in there. But why aren't they letting us see anything? It's so haunting. Just shadows, lights and shadows moving around behind that yellow shade like some weird shadow ballet.
All right, come away. You're high as a kite. I'm worried about you.
Oh, what's happened? The lights have gone out.
I don't know, and I don't care. It's their business.
But the ruin pitch dark suddenly, and the shade's still down.
So? They've been there. They've seen everything. Look, police procedure is police procedure. We read about it in newspapers. Now, sit down and relax and calm down. Here, drink your chocolate.
I don't want any. I'm too nervous.
What about? You don't even know him. He's a total stranger.
He's not a total stranger. He's a human being and my responsibility.
Your responsibility.
They can't be living already.
Why is he your responsibility?
John, how do you expect me to not care for some pitiful aging man who looked at me with such a terrible expression in his eyes, as if somebody had betrayed him? Someone did. I know they did.
All right. I'm getting blanched up.
John, don't leave me alone.
What?
There, I almost hit it on the nose, didn't I? The sea, that salty look. A ship was somewhere in the picture. But tell me about your dead man.
What's this?
Mr. Appleby's a writer, dear.
The kid's fantastic. A local little girl, please.
Please, we don't want any publicity.
Oh, I'll be certain. Never.
We're interested in what the police find. You were in our garden just now. Did you hear anything or see anything?
No, madam. Nothing definitive. I faced the school, which is horrid enough. All those unruly young men. But you have a ringside seat, I must say. Did you know I put a bid on it last fall?
What?
On this house of yours. I tried to purchase it for a friend of mine, the actor, Boyd Harry. But you outbid us by a mile, sir. Money talk. Touche.
Excuse me. I'll see what's keeping her. She said she'd be down in a second. Blanche! Blanche!
I do hope I'm not interrupting anything. Do tell me what you saw just up there in that evil old monstrosity.
Evil. Is it evil?
Oh, my dear lady. It's always seemed to be the very epitome of sordidness and hidden corruption. Do you believe in the occult, the atmosphere certain places belong? I do. Think of its history. Did you know 2 people committed suicide there in 1852?
No, I didn't.
A love pact. He was a notorious robber baron, and she his young mistress. And then it became the abode of sweltering immigrants, fleeing the pogroms and famines of Europe, to die by the thousands in the sweatshops of this greedy city. And recently, until the fire gutted it, those stifling little rooms were filled with scum, the seamiest sort of people, prostitutes, bums, drug addicts, all the tragic people of this world whose one reward for living is an unmarked grave in Pottersfield.
How awful. And now murder has been committed? Do you think the evils never stopped?
Well, something of the sort, I suppose. But what a contrast to look out from this into the very face of death.
Oh, well, Liddy, John just told me about the dead man. Isn't that something? How could I have slept through the whole thing?
Ah, I've never seen this lady before. May I be introduced?
Blanche, this is Mr. Appleby from next door. My good friend, Mrs. Cook.
How do you do, my dear?
Good morning. Darling, you look so pale and exhausted. John said you were very upset, so I brought your medication.
Mr. Appleby has just been telling me the wildest things about that building. That it's evil, haunted, drenched with horror.
Really? Well, I wouldn't worry about it. You know, practically the same thing happened with a friend of mine last time in London. He was living in a hotel, and across the way he kept seeing this beautiful woman lying in bed, stark, naked, but she never moved, and the light never went on. She was dead, of course, but so gorgeous that it broke his heart to notify the police.
Indeed.
Please, could you tell, darling?
Well, I must be running along. Do you know you remind me so much of an actress friend of mine from Budapest? Stunning woman. But you're from the Middle West, are you not, Mrs. Cook?
Yes, I am. How did you know?
Instinct. But you're not in the theater?
Oh, no, I'm a nurse.
A nurse! Well, the two professions are not so very far apart at that. Stay away from bridges, though. She jumped off one in the end, head first smack into the beautiful blue Danube. Did you try? Broke her neck. Ah, there you are again, my friend. So nice to meet you, lovely people. And do come visit me sometime, when there's less in the offing. I haven't got a palace, but I do have certain unusual curios from various obscure parts of the globe. And good luck, Mrs. Buick. Long may you dwell in Camelot.
Crazy Joker.
honest to the neighborhood peeping Tom. What's wrong, dear?
I guess that man impressed me then. Blanche, where did you get that sailboat pin?
Oh, do you like it? Lillian gave it to me for Christmas. She thinks I'm nautical just because that Spaniard in Madrid are giving me sailing lessons. Is it too loud?
No, it's beautiful.
It's bothering you. Something is.
No, it's all right. John, would you call the police again? We should have heard something by now.
Elaine.
Please call them.
It's really not too good. Your forehead's like ice, darling.
Lieutenant Walker, please.
It is upsetting you. What is it?
I'm over it now. It's just, well, it looks just like the pin Kate Banning wore that day in the car with Carl.
Horrible. Oh, God, Elaine. I'm so sorry.
Well, can they speak to someone else? It's about that murder on 29th Street.
I'll go.
No, I'll get it. They keep you waiting forever.
I'm sorry about the pin, Elaine. I have no idea what she was wearing, honestly.
No, of course not.
Why didn't you wake me up when you couldn't sleep? I'd have kept you company. Right to you that maybe none of this would have happened.
It still would have happened. To that poor man in the window. I shouldn't take those pills. They make me groggy.
Yes, who is it?
Mr. Wheeler, Lieutenant Walker, wrong side.
It's the police. They scare me. I've never been involved with them before.
It's all right. Stop fussing. Your hair looks perfect. Mrs. Wheeler? Which is Mrs. Wheeler?
I'm Mrs. Miller. Good morning, Lieutenant. Have you any news for us?
Is this the window where you saw what you saw?
Yes, that's the window. Are there any questions you'd like to ask?
Yes. I have a question, ma'am. Do you know anything about the crime rate in this city? The increasing crime rate, the numbers of murders per week we're getting.
No, but I...
It's slaughter. That's what it is. That's what's happening nowadays.
Lieutenant.
Earlier tonight, I saw a woman, an elderly woman, in a church basement. She was dead. She hadn't only been robbed, she had been mutilated. That's the type of stuff we're getting, and she's just par for the course.
Please, get to the point, Lieutenant. My wife's been up all night. She's very nervous.
Yeah, I can see she is. Usually, I can spot these phone calls and handle them right off. Nervous ladies like your wife, but tonight I mixed. You made the call. These ladies, they phone the bureau and tell us they shot their husband or that some neighbor has hung himself. But, well, there isn't 1 out of 100.
But, Lieutenant...
No blood, no dead man, no fingerprints, not a single sign of violence. Dust all over everything.
That's impossible. I saw him. That shade went up. That chair was there. I'd never seen that chair before. He had to have been in it.
Lady, 2 squad cars, 4 men, half an hour permit time, and everybody overworked on double shifts just to look at a green wing chair?
There was a body in it.
All I know is that old lady in the basement, that's a dead body. Good night, ma'am.
I saw him. He was bleeding.
Ellie.
John, he's wrong.
Okay, what more can we do?
Please, please believe me. I screamed. I tore those draperies. He was right there, in that window.
Sure. Right there.
Oh, I'm so dizzy.
It's all right. It's only medication.
You've got to believe me. That shade went up and there he was, sitting in the morning sun.
The sun?
14127. 14127.
What's that? Ellie.
14127. California. 1964. Somebody's doing something. He was staring at me with this awful look in his eyes, as though he were trying to tell me something. Something unreal. Something incredible.
Madame. It's almost night, Madame. Oh, Mr. Villa, you got back?
What's she been doing?
Oh, up and down all day. On the phone to the police lieutenant. It's a bad city, Mr. Villa. So nobody can trust.
Okay, okay.
She hasn't eaten nothing. I made some very nice pudding.
Yeah, that'll be all. Thanks. You can take the evening off.
Oh?
We're dining out tonight. Ellie, wake up.
Oh, when did you get home?
Just now. Why aren't you dressed?
Oh, I've been in sort of a daze, trailing about the house.
Been on the phone too, right? Look, you heard what the lieutenant said. There's nothing, absolutely nothing we can do about it.
While I'm not satisfied with his attitude, I'm not one of his crazy ladies who think they've shot their husbands or some neighbor has hung himself. They found that wing chair, didn't they?
Oh, right, a wing chair. Now, look, it's after 5. Why don't you get dressed?
I've been waiting all day to talk to you about it. All the lieutenant does is keep repeating the same old thing over and over and over.
Okay. Get some clothes on and we'll go into it. From stem to stern. Go along, Ellie. I've got a lot of other things I want to discuss with you.
Like what?
Ellie, do what I tell you, please. We've got a big night ahead of us. Are we supposed to be taking lunch out for some kind of farewell celebration?
Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. Did you make the reservation?
I will. 8:30, okay?
Fine.
Hello. This is John Wheeler speaking. Hold on a minute. Well,
Mr. Appleby is here.
we aren't seeing anyone.
He's for Madame.
She's dressing, and I said we aren't seeing anyone.
All right. I heard you, Mr. Villa.
Sorry. It's okay. Set up for this evening? Don't worry about that. I'm taking care of it. You're fine. Just that. Then, you have the directions? Very good. Well, thanks. Yes. Yes, oh, definitely. I will. Right. Thank you. I thought I told you to take the evening off.
Yeah, I know, Mr. Villa. I'd like to speak to you a minute. Please. I can't speak now with Madame. She is too upset. It's not good what's happening. Things, they are not right. I don't like it, Mr. Villa. It upsets me very much.
What is it, Helga?
I need money. 500 You're the boss, okay? I give you plenty of money. I don't have a job. Nothing.
$500, Helga? I'll think about it.
You think about it, Mr. Yeah. Oh, here is so beautiful you are.
Thank you, Helga. Did Mr. Willard give you the evening off?
Yeah, don't care.
Well, how do I look?
Wonderful. Very nice. Something new?
Well, I wore it Monday when we took Blanche to the opera.
Oh, well, it looks great on you. Martini?
Jim doesn't mix well with tranquilizers. I love this from in the winter, don't you? I will have a sherry. It's nice having this moment alone, isn't it? I adore Blanche, but honestly, do you realize we haven't had one cocktail hour to ourselves in weeks? John, do you remember that big fur rug we used to lie on in Arizona? So what were all those other things you wanted to talk to me about?
Oh, well, I don't want to upset you now.
Who's upset? That was the only thing upsetting me.
Elaine, I took a big step forward today.
Oh?
Look, honey. This afternoon, I took it upon myself to call up Mount Sinai Hospital, and I spoke to their chief of psychiatry about you.
Oh, and what did you tell him about me?
I told him all about these bad nights you've been having, that you've been plagued with this insomnia most of your life. I also asked him about that clinic in Switzerland. He recommended it. Went over for it. He says it has some of the best doctors in Europe, but the accommodations are great. It has a wonderful climate. It's not too far from Geneva.
Geneva is stole.
All right. If you're not interested, then forget it. But he did think you needed some kind of help.
Well, I don't need psychiatry.
I'm giving you his opinion.
I had enough psychiatry 8 years ago and it just mixed me up. Darling, don't you see? If I were a psychiatrist right now, it would mean I doubted my own mind. I doubted that I saw that dead man, and I know I saw him. It would mean I was losing control, backsliding, and that's never going to happen again. Never, ever.
All right. Don't get hysterical. Don't just tell her not to come.
Her?
A woman psychiatrist they recommended at Mount Sinai. She consented to come see you here. I knew you'd never go to her, and must I say, it took a hell of a lot of persuasion.
Here when?
Tonight, around 6.
Oh, John, you've been taking giant steps.
Hello, only me.
Does Blanche know about this?
Blanche, do you think I discussed our business with Blanche?
Hello? Oh, darling, you're up. How pretty you look, my favorite dress. I felt so guilty about leaving you today, but Helga was hitting her like a dragon, and I had a million awesome things to do. These are for you. Little presents.
Sweet, but you didn't have to.
I'm afraid I couldn't afford more than half a dozen at these New Year prices.
Gracious, charming.
Aren't they delicate? Like little baby's toes. Now, what did I do?
Nothing. They're exquisite. Helga! How was your luncheon date? I'll just tell Helga to put them in water. Helga, would you come up a minute, please?
My luncheon date was fine. What did I say?
Pick up your plane ticket?
Yes, I did everything.
Want a drink?
Please.
Yes, madame. Would you mind putting this into a vase, Helga?
Which vase?
I don't know, maybe a small little bowl. And would you arrange them, put them in the front room, on the Pembroke table, please?
Good evening, Helga.
No, I didn't see you, Mrs. Bull. How did you get in? I didn't hear no bell ring.
I have my own key.
She has her own key?
Ellie, that does it!
I'm terribly sorry, Blanche. I can imagine what's gotten into her. She's so peculiar lately.
Think nothing of it, dear. I'm used to it. All servants feel as nurses. Didn't you know that?
But you're our friend, a guest, and on your last night too. Why must you leave us? Isn't there some way John and I could change your mind? New York seems just the place for you,
wheelchairs on the Rome to Riviera circuit.
But Minnesota? In the wintertime? Why don't you stay here and marry Larry? He sounds perfect for you. Wait until his divorce is final?
Darling, you don't know Larry. Getting married again is the last thing on his mind. No, that's over. All washed up, a fling I just says to forget. But, let me show you what I bought today. You'll never guess. A brand new me. For many life.
Oh, God, a wig, but Aunt Joan, her is so lovely.
I'm bored with it. And you know what they say about blondes. Isn't it divine? It's a super Scandinavian.
Oh,
What's wrong with it? Too silly?
no, it's charming. It really is.
Elaine, you hate it. What is wrong?
Nothing. Try it on. I guess I just don't like wigs on wig flops. Go ahead, Blanche. It's beautiful, and I shouldn't be so hypersensitive. Otherwise, God knows I will need that psychiatrist.
What's that, Rachel?
Someone with John heard talk me out of that dead man.
Elaine, that's not the reason.
What's her name?
Dr. Lake, Tracy Lake.
Tracy Lake.
You've heard of her?
Of course. She's an authority on insomnia. Why, she wrote a book. Practically a classic. Though, name on the neuropathology of sleep patterns. We used it in nursing school. Elaine, how lucky.
Please.
What's wrong, darling?
I can't stand to look at it. Put it away. Get rid of it.
Elaine! What the hell's the matter with you?
I'm sorry, Blanche. I apologize. It just looked exactly like her head.
Whose head?
Hers. Kay Banning's.
God, I'm so sorry.
It's all right. You never saw her.
Mrs. Appleby, madame. Good evening, one and all. Pray pardon the intrusion. I came to inquire about our good lady's health. Will you recover, Mrs. Moore? What a charming robe to style. A little token I whipped up.
For me? Thank you.
Frightfully good for whatever ails you. A travel smock gave me the recipe. I practically live on it. I'm here to offer you my services as well.
Your services?
Murder is my hobby, and after this morning, how could I resist
Now, just a minute.
the case of the vanishing corpse? Now one sees it, presto, it's gone. A classic in fiction, indeed even commonplace with certain authors. But where did this one vanish? What do you think, Ducky?
I don't think.
You don't think. Everybody thinks. Even house guests are allowed to think occasionally. And I can hear those busy little wheels whirring.
Now, look here, Appleby.
Beautiful chest set. Renaissance? Florentine? Oh, where on earth did he go, that sullen, silver-haired stranger?
Do give us your opinion.
Down a trapdoor? Up a chimney? Or was he just chopped up, marinated in lime, stuffed under a floorboard, crammed into a coffin?
God, that's bad about it.
Or was he real at all?
Oh, yes, Mr. Appleby. He was. He was.
I meant not human. A waxwork, possibly. A hoax? A dummy? A grisly arranged spectacle?
Oh, ridiculous.
No. No, I never even thought such a thing. Of course not. Who would dream of doing it?
Exactly.
The rich attract enemies. What's your opinion, friend?
My opinion. I think you don't belong here.
Good heavens, well. I thought we were good friends. Neighbors. Well, good night. I am due at a cocktail party. Frightful bores, aren't they? Cocktail parties. Keep me apprised, though. I'm fascinated. At any hour of the day or night.
That son of a bitch.
I take that man sadistic.
But you don't suppose.
Elaine, whatever he told you, put it right out of your head.
But it might explain something.
Explain what?
The disappearance? The shade going up and down? I think I'll call the lieutenant
don't be insane.
But it was just in some ways like a peep show. A hideous peep show put on for my benefit. And I did only see him a minute or two. John, really, Mr. Appleby might have hit on something.
That man's a fool. He's a phony.
Then isn't that all the more reason we should talk to the lieutenant?
Oh, Elaine.
Well, he did want to buy this house, didn't he?
Elaine, I don't want you to call him.
Why not, darling?
You've called that poor bastard enough today. You're just humiliating yourself.
Why are you so fierce about it?
Okay, go right ahead. Make a fool out of yourself, but leave me out of it.
He's always never yelled at me like that before. And it was such a silly little thing. Hello, I'd like to speak to Lieutenant Walker, please. It's Mrs. Wheeler again. Lieutenant? Elaine Wheeler speaking. I'm terribly sorry to disturb you, but do you suppose that dead man could have been a hoax? Deliberately placed there? Some sort of grisly arranged spectacle? To scare me out of my wits? To make us leave this house?
I thought she told you to put them in the front room.
Well, possibly, but not necessarily a dead body. Though I was perfectly sure it looked like one. The blood certainly looked real. I beg your pardon? Enemies? Well, I don't know of any, though it's true we own some valuable things. No, nothing's ever been touched. You will look into it, Lieutenant?
Elaine,
Thank you, I really will.
he hung up on you?
No, you seem fairly interested.
Darling, you have no enemies. You've always been so sweet and generous and good. No, what I think John was trying to say is that your only enemy is yourself. Your nerves, your insomnia.
Blanche, that man had nothing to do with my nerves or my insomnia.
All right, Angel. Dear, what can I possibly say then? I want to help, but you won't let me. I see you doing these things, but you won't listen. It's just as though we were going back to that awful time in California.
What do you mean, Blanche?
Darling, I've got to be honest with you. I'm a nurse after all. Your nurse, 8 years ago and in. It just strikes me you're beginning to suffer from the same old depression symptoms.
Depression symptoms? Blanche, really?
Elaine, I recognize the signs. They're suddenly, just this week, the same old excitability, the inability to sleep, and the same fixation on something unimportant.
Unimportant? Did you call a murder unimportant? And then being told there wasn't any murder? What kind of talk is that?
You're sure it wasn't just perhaps some sort of quick hallucination?
Hallucination? That dead man? Blanche, I've never in my life had hallucinations.
Darling, don't you remember California? And all those nights when you thought you saw Carl standing at the foot of his bed, staring at you with his head all bashed in?
No, those were nightmares.
They were nightmares. You were wide awake every time and screaming that Carl was really there. Just as you screamed this morning and insisted that he was sitting there in that window in that chair.
That wasn't Carl.
These hallucinations have a name. They're called eidetic images.
What kind of images?
Eidetic images, they spring from the subconscious, from some deep trauma or anxiety.
I haven't felt anxiety. And that dead man couldn't have been Carl. He wasn't Carl, you're wrong. He couldn't have been. The man in that window was older, middle-aged with gray hair. Carl was young and slender, blonde.
She's only trying to help you.
Well, she's not. Eidetic images, depression symptoms. You know, I've stopped thinking about Carl. Why break up Carl? What are you looking at? What's that?
Probably just kids. That place is open terrace.
Did you see that shadow? Did you see it? Somebody just walked past that shade.
Okay?
And that's not a child. Or a teenager.
All right then. Probably a cop. You've been calling them all day.
No, someone's in my building.
Your building?
I'm beginning to feel it's mine. John, call the lieutenant, please. Never mind, I'll do it.
No, I'll do it.
That's no eidetic image, is it, Blanche? It's real. Real. There's something sinister going on.
All right, darling. Don't excite yourself.
Lieutenant Walker, please. John Wheeler. If he speaks to me, he's got to be a saint. Oh, good evening, Lieutenant. This is Wheeler, John Wheeler. I want to apologize, Lieutenant, for giving you one hell of a day. It's,
John, just tell him. The light keeps going on and off.
but this time we think we have something. It's a light in that window in that 29th Street building, and we see the man's shadow moving around behind the shade. Is it one of your men?
It's gone off. What's he telling you?
He's checking it out. Oh, I see. Well, thanks, Lieutenant. She's a bit upset. He has no men stationed there, but they're sending a squad car. He'll take care of it.
John, what are you doing? Please, I want to see.
Dr. Lake is due any minute now.
Dr. Lake? You didn't phone her? But I thought we cleared that up. But please, both of you. John, you saw that light. And that shadow over there, and it was real. Real, John, real. Don't shut it out. And please let me
Well,
look.
probably some drunken prowler. Ellie, I'm much more worried about you. I want you to feel better, and you know you're never going to until you see this doctor and face into the real thing that's causing all this trouble.
What real thing?
Carl, you've never gotten over it.
That's not true. It isn't.
Ellie, even when I first met you, 2 years after it happened, you were still all churned up about Carl. Why? That first night out there on the beach, we were crazy about each other, wild. Then you called me by his name and later burst out crying. Remember? Carl was that dead man, wasn't it?
No, please, I've gotten over it.
Ellie, you don't get over things that easily. And I'm telling you, Carl's just gone underground, like those swampy rivers in Florida. You don't even know they're there, then suddenly one day they suck you in.
No! Somebody's doing something. Oh, God. God, help me.
Ellie, stop it!
Just look at this matchbook, please. Somebody wrote those numbers down.
What numbers?
There.
14127. So?
Carl's license number. I thought nobody in the world knew those numbers except me.
Well, I don't. I can't even remember my own license number. Probably somebody's phone number.
Somebody's phone number?
Ellie, you can't go all to pieces over every goddamn little thing.
Little thing? That wig was not a little thing. That dead man or that shadow? John, you saw that shadow and that light. Why can't you believe me? Why are you deserting me?
I'm not deserting you.
I admit, I'm on the edge, I'm frightened, scared to death, but I need you. And I love you. Say you love me.
Of course I love you.
Excuse me? Dr. Lake is here?
I couldn't hear the bell.
I saw her car pull to the curb, so I let her in. Wasn't that all right? Good evening. Dr. Lake, this is Mrs. Wheeler and Mr. Wheeler. How do you do? What a charming home you have.
Thank you. I'm afraid it isn't very charming at the moment.
It's so good of you to come, Doctor. Would you like to use this room in here? It's more private.
Anywhere you say, Mr. Wheeler. Whatever you sitting room. So feminine. Coming, Mrs. Wheeler?
Greenwich, do I have to do this?
Good lovely.
Let's go, Ellie. Oh, by the way, Doctor, I meant to ask you, do you know anything about the real clinic in Switzerland?
The real clinic? For insomniacs? Yes, indeed. An excellent place.
Well, thanks. That's what they said at Mount Sinai.
I think you need another drink.
I thought at lunch today you agreed to leave.
Yes?
So, what's with all this sleight of hand? Freesias? Wigs?
I don't know a thing about them. Honestly, I swear I was in California at the time of the accident. I don't know what's the matter with her. She's seeing things, imagining things, and nothing at all.
Perhaps. All the same, I don't want you stirring things up.
Who's stirring things up? Did I suggest a psychiatrist? And by the way, John, how did he manage to get the Dr. Lake to make a house call on such short notice?
By phoning her and offering her a small fortune.
I thought she'd be a lot older.
Older? What do you mean?
Nothing, except that imagine someone with white hair and glasses with her reputation. You did speak to her yourself, didn't you?
Of course I did. I spoke with her again this evening. Why? You mean you think she isn't Dr. Lake?
Yes. Déjame. Stop that!
I'm going to speak to her. see? What the hell kind of people are you? Seeking the cops on me? Seeking what cops? All right. To go into that building, see? I live next door to it. I have a restaurant next door to it. Did a murder just been committed? You know, sister, your ass all day. Hey. You mean you were the man in the building with the flashlight? Yeah, I see. Well, sorry, our mistake. Some mistake? Every time that works with yours, cause the cops in them. Small cars come screaming down the street. What do you think it does to the business? It ruins it. That's what. It gives up the customers. They think another murder's gonna come in. And already, I got robbed twice. So what happens to my property value? What happens to my potato salad? What happens to my chicken salad? Not to mention, or respect, which happens to be 79 upon wholesale.
What happens to it?
It's a garbage bell. Okay, I'll make it up to you.
What's going on? Who's here?
Nothing, nobody. I'll tell you about it later.